and the haunting tales that echoed across the ports, the captain remained resolute, believing the stories to be mere superstitions. As night fell, the wind howled, and the sea churned violently. Unseen forces seemed to toy with tune that seemed to emanate from the depths of the ocean itself. The sailors froze in terror as the ghostly music intensified, filling their minds with images of shipwrecks past, of lost souls forever trapped in a watery grave. With each passing moment, the ship's structure groaned and creaked, mirroring the anguished cries of those who had met their end in these cursed waters. Shadows danced along the walls, and eerie whispers slithered through the corridors, filling their crew to the brink of madness. One by one, the crew vanished into the abyss, pulled by unseen hands or driven by the maddening whispers that promised salvation below the waves. The captain, the last remaining soul aboard the doomed vessel, clung to the helm, his eyes wide with terror as spectral figures emerged from the sea, reaching out for him. As dawn broke, a fishing trawler passing by spotted the wreckage of the MV Oceanus, but there was no sign of life. The captain was never found, and the only remnants of the ill-fated voyage were chilling accounts of the haunting echoes of shipwrecks that lingered in the cursed waters, warning all who dared to sail through those perilous depths. Story 2. Tales of Shipwrecked Despair. High upon the cliffs of a remote coastal town, nestled in the cradle of jagged rocks and pounding waves, stood the Lighthouse of Solitude. Its beacon flickered with an eerie glow, casting shadows that danced upon the restless waters below. Locals spoke in hushed tones about the tragic fate that befell those who dared to traverse the unforgiving seas surrounding their home. The SS Serafina, a grand passenger liner, set sail from the nearby port on a moonless night, destined for distant shores. On board were thrill-seekers, adventurers, and a crew lured by promises of riches and discoveries awaiting them in uncharted waters. The air crackled with excitement as the vessel cut through the tranquil surface, leaving the safety of the harbor behind. Unbeknownst to the passengers and crew, the Lighthouse of Solitude's flickering beacon held ancient secrets, a warning lost to time. It bore witness to countless shipwrecks, each one a testament to the haunting allure of the ocean depths. As the SS Serafina ventured farther into the heart of the treacherous waters, an enchanting melody, soft yet mesmerizing, whispered through the night air. The bewitching song beckoned from the abyss, captivating the hearts and minds of those aboard. It was a siren's call, weaving a seductive web that ensnared the souls of all who heard it. The tranquil voyage turned sinister as the once placid sea transformed into a tempestuous tempest. The ship was ensnared by unseen forces, ensnared within a vortex of waves that seemed to dance in time with the haunting melody. Desperation and fear gripped the passengers and crew as the SS Serafina careened towards its impending doom. With a deafening crash, the vessel collided with an unseen obstacle, tearing through its hull like paper. Panic spread like wildfire as the ship began to take on water, plunging into the icy depths below. Frantic screams melded with the haunting song of the siren, creating a symphony of despair that echoed across the waters. In the chaos, ethereal figures emerged from the darkened waters, spectral forms that glided effortlessly through the ship's flooded corridors. Their mournful wails intertwined with the agonized cries of those trapped aboard, a haunting chorus of lost souls trapped in an eternal dance with the abyss. As dawn broke on the horizon, the Lighthouse of Solitude bore witness to the wreckage of the SS Serafina, swallowed by the depths it dared to challenge. No survivors were found, only tales spun by the whispers of the wind, warning all who dared to sail those cursed waters of the abyssal requiem sung by the siren's voyage. Story 3. The Forsaken Voyage. In a forgotten era, when maritime folklore was rife with chilling legends, the tale of the cursed sea, ominously dubbed the Abyssal Expanse, whispered its grim narrative to those daring enough to listen. Shrouded in mystery, this dreaded stretch of ocean devoured countless vessels, leaving behind only whispered accounts of their ghostly demises. The SS Nightshade, a vessel infamous among seasoned sailors, embarked on a clandestine journey across treacherous waters. Its captain, a stoic and weathered man, bore the weight of harrowing tales tied to the cursed expanse. Yet driven by ambitions that eclipsed caution, he charted a course through those haunted waters. As dusk descended, an eerie fog cloaked the ship, veiling it from the watchful eyes of distant shores. The crew, a mix of seasoned seafarers and wide-eyed novices, couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that accompanied their passage through the desolate sea. In the dead of night, a foreboding hush enveloped the vessel, broken only by the unsettling sound of ghostly whispers carried by the wind. Shadows danced across the deck, animated by unseen forces that stirred fear in the hearts of even the most resolute sailors. Suddenly, the tranquil sea turned tumultuous, as if angered by the intrusion of the SS Nightshade. The ship quivered and shook violently, straining against an invisible force determined to drag it into the depths. Panic seized the crew as the captain barked orders, attempting to steer the vessel away from its impending doom. Amidst the chaos, a haunting melody, both enchanting and foreboding, echoed across the waves. The crew stood transfixed, lured by the siren's song that seemed to emanate from the darkest recesses of the abyss. Madness crept insidiously into their minds, blurring the lines between reality and the sinister allure of the cursed waters. As the ship teetered on the brink of destruction, ghastly apparitions materialized on the deck, a spectral crew, their hollow eyes fixated on the living. They beckoned, their outstretched hands reaching for the terrified sailors, drawing them closer to the brink of oblivion. In a final act of desperation, a deafening roar reverberated through the air as the SS Nightshade succumbed to the relentless assault of the unforgiving sea. It disappeared beneath the waves, swallowed whole by the malevolent waters, along with the echoing screams of the doomed souls aboard. When dawn broke, a fishing vessel passing by stumbled upon debris scattered across the ocean's surface, remnants of the ill-fated voyage. No survivors emerged, and only whispers persisted, recounting the horrifying fate of the SS Nightshade, a chilling testament to the phantom tides and the unforgiving grasp of the forsaken voyage. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. 2 real creepy stories. Story 1. A night of haunting despair. In the heart of an isolated town, there stood a foreboding structure known as the Ravenwood Hotel. Its presence loomed over the landscape, an enigmatic sentinel amidst mist-laden woods, with windows that betrayed no signs of life within. The hotel carried with it a dark history, a tale of vanished guests and inexplicable phenomena that sent shudders through the locals. Few dared to approach, yet occasional wanderers sought shelter within its walls when lost on desolate nights. One such traveler was Emily, a weary soul adrift in unfamiliar paths. She stumbled upon the Ravenwood Hotel's desolate grounds, reluctantly seeking refuge. The heavy doors creaked shut behind her, and an icy chill enveloped her as she crossed the threshold. The lobby appeared frozen in time, cobwebs draped over antique furniture, dust settling on faded portraits, and an oppressive silence saturating the air. Emily's footsteps echoed through empty corridors as she ascended a grand staircase, each step sending shivers down her spine. Her room harbored an unsettling atmosphere, an unease that pervaded every corner. The walls seemed to whisper of forgotten secrets, while dim lamplight cast eerie shadows that danced across the floor. As the night deepened, the hotel stirred with unseen murmurs and phantom footsteps that echoed through the halls. Emily's sleep was plagued by haunting visions, apparitions drifting in and out of existence, their mournful cries piercing through the silence. She awoke to an otherworldly coldness, her breath misting in the frigid air. The room had metamorphosed into a nightmarish tableau of decay and despair. Walls dripped with an otherworldly substance, furniture contorted into grotesque shapes, and portraits twisted into ghastly visages, seemingly observing her every move. Panic consumed Emily as she tried to flee, but all exits were sealed, trapping her in this spectral nightmare. Desperation gripped her, but her pleas were swallowed by the chorus of wails and whispers that filled the cursed hotel. With the first light of dawn, the horrors dissolved like mist, leaving behind a seemingly normal room. Emily fled the Ravenwood Hotel, vowing never to return, haunted by the harrowing night spent within its walls. And the locals whispered tales of yet another lost soul claimed by the malevolent grasp of the hotel, a chilling warning to those who dared to approach its ominous doors. Story 2. The Enigma of the Midnight Hotel. Nestled within a forgotten town, concealed amidst an ancient forest, stood the Midnight Hotel, an enigmatic edifice that cast an eerie silhouette against the moonlit sky. Its imposing structure loomed ominously, veiled in an aura of mystery, its windows like silent sentinels guarding secrets untold. Legends shrouded its past, a tapestry woven with tales of vanished souls and inexplicable phenomena that sent shivers down the spines of the townsfolk. Many steered clear, yet a few daring wanderers sought shelter within its mysterious confines when lost on deserted paths. One such traveler was Thomas, a weary voyager seeking solace in the dead of night. Fate led him to the Midnight Hotel's shadowy doorstep. With trepidation, he crossed the threshold, feeling a chill that seemed to seep into his very soul as the heavy doors closed behind him. The lobby lay frozen in time, cobwebs adorned antique furniture, faded portraits hung on walls, and an unsettling stillness lingered in the air. Thomas's footfalls echoed through empty corridors as he ventured deeper into the heart of the hotel, each step echoing a foreboding cadence. His room exuded a disconcerting aura, a palpable unease that hung thick in the air. Shadows danced ominously in the dim lamplight, and an unspoken presence seemed to lurk in every corner. As night cloaked the world, the hotel awakened with spectral whispers and ghostly murmurs that reverberated through its passages. Thomas's slumber was tormented by eerie visions, ethereal figures drifting through the room, their mournful whispers echoing in the silence of the night. He awoke to a bone-chilling coldness, his breath forming mist in the air. The room had transformed into a nightmarish tableau of terror, walls dripping with spectral tendrils, furniture contorted into grotesque shapes, and portraits twisted into haunting visages that seemed to stare into his very soul. Fear engulfed Thomas as he attempted to flee, but all exits were sealed, trapping him within this macabre realm. Desperation clawed at him, yet his cries vanished into the symphony of haunting wails and murmurs that filled the cursed hotel. With the faint break of dawn, the horrors dissolved into the ether, leaving behind a semblance of normalcy. Thomas fled the Midnight Hotel, vowing never to return, haunted by the harrowing night spent within its enigmatic walls. And the townsfolk whispered tales of another lost soul ensnared by the enigma of the hotel, a cautionary tale woven into the fabric of their chilling folklore. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Save for the occasional flickering street lamp casting eerie shadows. A lone taxi prowled the empty roads, its headlights cutting through the gloom like searching eyes. Inside the cab sat a weary passenger named Emily. She had hailed the taxi after a late shift at work, hoping for a quick ride home. But as the taxi ventured deeper into the labyrinthine streets, Emily felt a sense of unease creeping over her. The driver was silent, his face hidden in the shadows. His hands gripped the steering wheel tightly, and Emily couldn't shake the feeling that they were not heading towards her destination. She tried to dismiss her apprehension, attributing it to exhaustion and a late hour. As minutes stretched into an eternity, Emily's heart quickened its pace. The streets seemed unfamiliar, morphing into a maze of dimly lit alleys and forgotten corners. She fumbled for her phone, but the battery had died, leaving her entirely at the mercy of the taxi's direction. "Excuse me," Emily finally spoke, her voice trembling slightly. "I think you might have taken a wrong turn. My home isn't this way." The driver didn't respond, his silence a suffocating presence in the confined space. Emily's breath hitched as the taxi rolled through deserted streets, seemingly going deeper into an unknown part of the city. Panic began to claw at her chest when she noticed something peculiar. The cityscape outside the window appeared frozen, as if time itself had halted. No distant honks, no faint whispers of life, just an eerie stillness that sent chills down her spine. "Where are you taking me?" Emily's voice wavered, a tremor of fear lacing her words. The driver finally spoke, his voice a gravelly whisper that seemed to echo from the abyss. "To where you belong." Emily's blood turned to ice. She pounded on the partition, demanding the driver to stop, to let her out, but the taxi hurtled forward, ignoring her pleas. Her mind raced with horrifying possibilities. Was this the end of her journey? Would she vanish into the night, never to be seen again? Suddenly, the taxi screeched to a halt in front of an ancient, decrepit building shrouded in darkness. The driver turned around slowly, his face a mask of shadows and malevolence. With a chilling smile, he uttered, "This is your stop, Emily." Before she could react, the taxi door flung open, and an otherworldly darkness enveloped her, swallowing her whole. The next morning, the abandoned taxi was found by the police, its interior empty. Emily was never seen again, her disappearance shrouded in mystery, just like the eerie taxi that prowled the streets at midnight, a vehicle that traversed between the realms, carrying unsuspecting passengers to a destination unknown, lost in the shadows of the city's darkest secrets. Story 2. The Haunted Fair. In the heart of the city, where the neon lights cast a surreal glow on the bustling streets, there was a taxi that stood out among the rest. Its faded yellow paint peeled away in patches, and its headlights flickered ominously, as if struggling against an unseen force. Some whispered that it was cursed, that those who dared to ride in it would meet an unfortunate fate. One foggy evening, Alex, a young traveler, found himself in need of a ride after a late-night concert. He waved down the taxi, unaware of its sinister reputation. The driver, an enigmatic figure with piercing eyes, greeted him with a stoic nod before the vehicle lurched forward into the misty night. As the taxi traversed the dimly lit streets, Alex noticed strange occurrences. Shadows danced at the corners of his vision, and whispers echoed from the backseat, chilling him to the bone. He dismissed them at first, attributing them to exhaustion and the eerie ambience of the night. However, as minutes turned into an unsettling journey, the driver remained silent, his eyes fixed on the road ahead, as if he were avoiding something in the rearview mirror. "Is everything all right?" Alex asked, his voice quivering slightly. No response. Unease gnawed at Alex's gut as the taxi veered off the familiar route. Buildings seemed to melt into a twisted landscape, and the streets became unfamiliar, twisting and distorting like a nightmare brought to life. "I think you've taken the wrong turn," Alex said, his heart pounding his chest. Still, the driver remained silent, his hands gripping the wheel with an unnatural intensity. Desperate to escape this surreal nightmare, Alex pleaded, "Please, let me out. I'll walk from here." The taxi continued its surreal journey, ignoring Alex's desperate pleas. Panic surged within him, and he attempted to unlock the door, but it refused to budge, trapping him inside the haunted vehicle. Suddenly, the taxi screeched to a halt in front of an abandoned mansion, swallowed by overgrown vines and darkness. The driver turned to Alex, his eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. "This is where you belong," the driver whispered, his voice echoing with an unnatural resonance. Terrified, Alex pushed against the door with all his might, and it finally gave way. He stumbled out into the eerie silence, his breaths coming in ragged gasps. As he glanced back, the taxi had vanished into thin air, leaving behind only the haunted memory of that spine-chilling ride. From that night on, Alex became a cautionary tale, warning others to beware the haunted fair that prowled the city's streets, preying on unsuspecting souls and ferrying them to a destination beyond the realms of the living, a fate too ghastly to comprehend. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more such scary stories. Real terrifying tales. Story 1. Whispers in the Wilderness. Nestled deep within the heart of an untamed jungle, where the supremacy of darkness held sway and the nocturnal symphony of creatures reverberated through the dense foliage, a band of intrepid adventurers chose to make camp for the night. Disregarding ominous warnings about the jungle's eerie reputation, they hungered for excitement amid its unexplored expanses. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, casting elongated shadows that stretched across the thick undergrowth, an unsettling foreboding settled over the camp. The flickering campfire provided meager defense against the encroaching darkness, which appeared to consume the jungle whole. Throughout the night, strange noises echoed, a troyer of otherworldly howls and rustling leaves that stirred an unsettling unease among the adventurers. Every snap of a twig or distant growl sent shivers down their spines, intensifying the sensation of being observed by unseen eyes. With the moon ascending in the sky, casting an ethereal glow upon the jungle canopy, the adventurers convened around the dwindling fire. Whispers of legends spoke of vengeful spirits and ancient curses lurking in the wilderness, sparking a primal fear. In the dead of night, a chilling silence descended, interrupted only by the rhythmic beating of their hearts. Shadows danced along the trees, assuming eerie forms that seemed to lurk just beyond the flickering firelight. One by one, inexplicable occurrences unfolded, a rustling in the bushes revealing nothing, mysterious gusts of wind rattling the tents, and fleeting glimpses of spectral shapes darting among the trees. As tension mounted, an unearthly cacophony erupted from the jungle's depths, an eerie symphony that resonated with primal terror. Panic seized the adventurers as they realized they were not alone. Something malevolent lurked in the shadows, toying with their sanity. In a frenzied attempt to escape, they stumbled blindly through the dense underbrush, their screams drowned by the deafening chorus of the jungle. Shadows elongated and contorted, forming grotesque apparitions that converged upon them. Dawn unveiled an abandoned campsite, the remnants of a night fraught with terror. The adventurers were never found, their fate a haunting mystery lost amidst the untamed wilderness. The jungle, forever adorned with the echoes of that harrowing night, remained a realm where the line between the living and the otherworldly blurred into the darkness. Story 2. The Nocturnal Pursuit. In the heart of an ancient and overgrown jungle, a team of wildlife researchers embarked on a mission to study elusive nocturnal creatures. Unperturbed by the jungle's eerie reputation, they established their campsite as the sun sank below the horizon, eager to commence observations of the wilderness after dark. As night enveloped the jungle, it transformed into a realm of ominous shadows and mysterious noises. The researchers gathered around their flickering lanterns, heightened senses attuned to the primal symphony surrounding them. Amid their research, peculiar occurrences unfolded, unexplainable anomalies, equipment malfunctioning, and casting sporadic darkness over the campsite, only to flicker back with eerie distortions. Whispers of superstitions and local legends circulated, exacerbating their unease. In the dead of night, the jungle teemed with unseen movements, a rustle of leaves, haunting howls in the distance, and occasional glimpses of glowing eyes from the thick foliage. The researchers' nerves frayed as they grappled with the inexplicable events. Dr. Carter, their leader, ventured deeper into the jungle, following an unusual trail of markings. A sense of foreboding lingered as he pressed on, determined to unravel the mysteries of the nocturnal inhabitants. At midnight, an eerie stillness gripped the jungle. Lanterns flickered erratically, casting shadows that danced with malevolent intent. Whispers echoed through the underbrush, ancient voices warning of impending doom. Dr. Carter stumbled upon an ancient altar hidden within the dense thicket, a relic of a forgotten civilization that worshipped forces beyond human comprehension. Symbols etched into the stone glowed ominously, emitting an otherworldly aura. Before deciphering the cryptic symbols, a primal roar shattered the silence. Darkness enveloped the jungle as unseen forces converged upon the campsite. Spectral shapes materialized from the shadows, pursuing the researchers with an otherworldly presence. In frenzied panic, they fled through the labyrinth of trees, pursued by an unseen terror toying with their sanity. As dawn broke, the jungle stood silent, the abandoned campsite bearing witness to the inexplicable events of that harrowing night. The researchers were never found, their fate forever entwined with the haunting mysteries of the midnight pursuit in the depths of the ancient jungle. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Real disturbing stories. Story 1. Unraveling reality's veil. Deep within an overgrown forest, obscured from the world by a thick canopy of ancient trees, lay a forgotten research facility. This facility, once dedicated to groundbreaking experiments in psychology and the paranormal, had long been erased from official records, its existence known only through whispered legends. A trio of thrill-seeking documentarians, drawn by the allure of uncovering the obscure truths hidden within this elusive facility, ventured into the dense underground. Armed with cameras and a shared curiosity mingled with trepidation, they pushed through the thicket, guided by an old map discovered in a dusty archive. As they breached the perimeter of the facility, an eerie silence enveloped them. The building stood in various stages of decay, windows shattered, and rusted metal structures creaking ominously in the breeze. A sense of foreboding washed over the trio, but their quest for the truth drove them deeper into the heart of the abandoned compound. The air within the facility was thick with a haunting stillness, broken only by the distant echoes of their footsteps and the occasional rustle of leaves. Forgotten research notes and cryptic symbols adorned the walls, hinting at experiments that bordered on the fringes of sanity. Strange phenomena plagued the documentarians as they navigated the labyrinthine corridors. Unexplained flickering lights, ghostly whispers that seemed to call their names, and fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures lurked just beyond their vision, unsettling their resolve. As they delved further into the facility's secrets, they stumbled upon a chamber shrouded in darkness, where a peculiar machine sat dormant at its center. The machine, an enigmatic contraption of gears and arcane symbols, seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Driven by curiosity and an insatiable thirst for knowledge, they attempted to activate the machine, unaware of the forces they were about to unleash. With a surge of power, the ancient device whirred to life, casting an eerie glow that bathed the chamber in an ominous light. A rift in reality tore open before their eyes, unleashing a maelstrom of spectral entities. The trio found themselves trapped in a nightmarish realm where time twisted and reality warped, blurring the lines between the living and the dead. Desperate to escape the eldritch horrors that surrounded them, they raced through the shifting corridors, pursued by phantoms from their darkest fears. But as they reached the facility's exit, reality warped once more, trapping them in an endless loop within the spectral realm. Their voices joined the chorus of haunting whispers that echoed through the abandoned research facility, a testament to their ill-fated journey into the unknown depths of the forgotten compound. Story 2. The Ruins' Malevolent Secret. In the heart of an isolated forest, a team of researchers embarked on a daring expedition to unravel the mysteries hidden within an ancient ruin. Excitement tinged with trepidation filled the group as they delved deeper into the shadowy corridors of the forgotten structure. As dusk descended, strange occurrences began to unsettle the researchers. Whispers echoed through the halls, chilling winds swept through closed rooms, and eerie symbols seemed to shimmer on the walls, appearing and vanishing in an instant. The lead researcher, Dr. Marlowe, dismissed the unease, attributing the odd events to fatigue and the imagination running wild. One by one, the team members started experiencing disturbing visions and inexplicable ailments. Nightmares plagued their sleep, vivid and ghastly, leaving them shaken and sleep-deprived. As tensions rose among the group, so did the sinister presence within the ancient ruin. Equipment malfunctioned, casting them into darkness. The once cohesive team turned paranoid, each suspecting the other of foul play or succumbing to madness. Dr. Marlowe found disturbing entries in the ruins' archives, detailing a ritual that promised unimaginable power at a dreadful cost. Whispers in the wind grew louder, urging them to partake in the forbidden rite. One fateful night, driven by a morbid curiosity mingled with fear, the team decided to conduct the ritual in a desperate attempt to end the haunting torment. Their chant echoed through the halls, an incantation that seemed to awaken something malevolent and ancient. In a crescendo of terror, the ruin shook violently, an otherworldly wail pierced the air, and the walls seemed to bleed shadows. The researchers' faces contorted in terror as they realized the irreversible mistake they had made. The ruin collapsed into itself, swallowing the ill-fated expedition and the malevolent force it had unleashed. Only whispers in the wind and eerie tales told by locals remained of the ill-fated researchers who dared to unearth the forbidden secrets of the ancient ruin. Story 3. Bound by haunting secrets. In the heart of an isolated town stood an abandoned asylum, its towering silhouette casting an ominous shadow over the surrounding landscape. Rumors whispered of unspeakable horrors that had transpired within its decaying walls, and the townsfolk shunned it as a cursed place. A group of intrepid urban explorers, drawn by tales of the asylum's haunted past, gathered on this night. Eager to unravel the asylum's dark mysteries, they entered the derelict building, their flashlights cutting through the suffocating darkness. As they navigated the labyrinthine corridors, the air grew thick with an oppressive silence, broken only by the creaks of decaying floorboards beneath their feet. Each room they entered seemed frozen in time, filled with relics of the asylum's grim history. Straitjackets hung like one by one, the explorers succumbed to an inexplicable dread that gripped their souls. Fear turned to panic as they realized they were not alone. Whispers grew into sinister murmurs, guiding them deeper into the asylum's balls. In a forgotten chamber, they discovered a journal belonging to a former asylum doctor. Its pages detailed twisted experiments conducted on patients in the pursuit of unlocking the secrets of the human mind. The experiments had veered into the occult, seeking forbidden knowledge that should have remained buried. A sense of impending doom enveloped the explorers as they stumbled upon a ritual chamber hidden deep within the asylum. The ghostly echoes of chanting